everyone, welcome to GFX GARAGE, and today I'm going to show you how to use the Lasso tool in Photoshop. We got three of them guys, and a lot of people don't even know about the functionality of different Lasso tools. So we're going to show you what each Lasso tool is good for, as well as show quick tips and tricks on how to use the Lasso tool, and even switch back and forth of them using a keyboard shortcut. You will learn how to create random selections with the standard lasso tool and what's good for. For next, you're going to learn how to create polygons with the polygonal lasso tool, and to finish it off, we're going to show you how to trace an object in Photoshop using the magnetic lasso tool. We're going to start off with the standard lasso tool. Now, the standard lasso tool relies on you actually or actually drawing a selection, and we know that it's not really easy to draw a perfect selection. For instance, if we have to grab a lasso tool, we would click L, or we would hit L on a keyboard to grab a lasso tool. We'll be grabbing our normal lasso tool, or we can just click over here. And now I want to draw a perfect selection right around this leaf. So I just have to draw a perfect selection around this leaf, and I would either have to use my mouse or whatever to draw a perfect selection. And no matter how am I good in doing this, I'm not going to be able to draw a leaf around this area. So it's like you had a pen and you wanted to draw a perfect leaf. You're not going to be able to do it. If I wanted to select, like, let's take an example. If I wanted to select this TV, let's take a look that can we select this actually, or let's see it. So if I wanted to select this TV, and I would drag it from here, then here, then here, then here, then here. You can see it's really hard and tough for me to select it. So it's really hard, and no matter how good you are, but the lasso tool is very hard. It's going to allow a lot of variation with me actually, like slightly moving either my pen tablet or your mouse. So when you're using the lasso tool, don't use it for areas that need like a very precise calculated selection. You use it for things that are a little bit more random. So you use it for things that are a little bit random. Let's take a couple of examples. For an instant, if you want a stain on this carpet, let's zoom in from Control plus, then plus, and then drag it here. We have a carpet over here. For instance, if you want to create a stain on this floor, let's go ahead and create a new layer. So let's go ahead. We've created a new layer, and I'm going to create a new stain. Let's have a new stain over here, and this is much better. Okay, new stain. There we go. That's look a little good. Now I've got a couple of keyboard shortcuts that I can either add or subtract from my stain. So I'm gonna hold the shift key to add to my stain. If I want to add here, I would just press shift and then make a selection. And now you can see that the area I have has added. Something like that. I could do that, and that's going to allow me to add to this selection. If I hold Alt or Option, it's going to allow me to subtract. You can press Alt or Option to subtract. If I want to subtract this area, I would just select this area and then release Alt or just release my cursor, and you can see the area has subtracted just like this. You just have to loop it and then release it, and the area you have selected has subtracted. Okay, so the lasso tools are for making selections. Now it's not affecting the now you can see the selection is actually moving from one place to another, and you can see it is not actually affecting the image. So what a selection does, it limits the area and you can actually affect with your image. So you could not affect the image, but you could have it in this, and this is what it does, a selection does. For an instant, I'm going to grab a brush tool from Shift B. So I'm going to do it from Shift B actually, or you could just click it a little over here. I'm making my cursor or my brush smaller, and I'll be taking color of a little dirty stain. So a little one. So I'll go to yellow, and then this colors look like a little stainy color, and then okay. Okay, so we have a foreground color over here, something like that. So we'll color it, and we'll do it something like this, and this actually looks good. So there we go. Now we will do Control D to deselect. Okay, okay, we will do Control D to deselect, and then it looks a little good. Now I'm gonna go to my filter, click blur, and then we'll do Gaussian blur. And now if I go to my left side, this stain actually goes right, and if I go right on my right side, the stain goes dark. I'll be doing it light so that it looks permanent and it looks good actually. So this is much better. I'll be clicking OK, and now I'll be making my blended layer from here from hard light. I'll be doing the opacity a little low, and you know it's looking like a permanent stain on my image. So that looks pretty good. Okay. And now you can see it's a very like non-standard shape, right? And that's you can see that's a very non-standard shape. You can also move this stain from one place to another. Like I'll be moving this from here, 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 and here. You can say it. So it's a very non-standard space, like it's a non-standard shape, right? And that's what the regular lasso tool is good for it. Okay, let's take another example of this flower. We'll be taking the lasso tool by pressing L on a keyboard. Okay, I'll be selecting a little area of this little flower piece, and I would make a new layer. I would click on adjustment, hue and saturation, and if I make my saturation on the right side, it will go dark and a bluish shade. I'll be doing it on the left side to have it a better shade, a better color and a better shape. And you know it looks pretty good and pretty awesome. So this is what the regular lasso tool does. So let's move on to our polygonal lasso tool. So polygonal lasso tool. Okay. Now we're going to jump into a polygonal lasso tool. So all of these lasso tools are nested together. So go ahead and click on this polygonal lasso tool. Now the polygonal lasso tool allows us to create polygons. It allows us to actually create polygons. This is what our polygonal lasso tool does. You can see that we are creating polygons. I can click on different sides or to create my polygonal lasso tool, and you can see that it's being made, and you could click enter to make it a selection. Okay, now you can see I'm creating a very well defined shape. This is what polygonal lasso tool does. Let's deselect it from Control D and let's erase it, Control D. Okay, it's so what is polygonal lasso tool? It's not relying on you. It makes a perfect lines. It's creating those lines for me by connecting shapes. So this polygonal lasso tool is making perfect lines for me, and it's creating shapes. Okay, now if I want to, like, I am making a shape and I want my regular lasso tool, I would just click on Alt to have my lasso tool back, and you can see that we have just our lasso tool back. And if you release it, you have your polygon lasso tool where it was actually was. Let's enter it, and now you can see. Let's do it. Control D. Okay, now it's the opposite. If we have a lasso tool and we're making something, and I want my uh, uh, polygonal lasso tool back, what I would do is I would just click on Alt, and you can see that now you have, like, I'm creating this, and if I click Alt, and now you can see you have your your polygonal lasso tool. So this is what it is actually. These are very nice to have it. Okay, it's really it's really cool way to kind of switch between the two of them. So polygonal lasso tool is for creating the selections, or sorry, to creating the polygon. Now this is going to come in the handy. We're going to use it as an example here on this building. So we'll be taking an example on this building. We'll be selecting this building by a polygonal lasso tool. Okay, so we'll go back to a polygonal lasso tool. We'll click on at the edge, drag, click corner, then drag, click, drag, click, drag, and then click, and then drag, and then click, and then press enter. So now you can see that the area we had polygon has been selected. Drag, select, then if if I didn't wanted to actually select this, and if I accidentally selected, what I would do is I would press backspace or delete to delete my, and you know the cursor is going back. Now if I want to just select and then drag, click, drag, click, drag, click, drag, and then you can have a click one. Let's press enter to make it a selection. Now you have both selection. I want to change my background. What I would do is right click, layer where copy. You have a copied layer of these buildings over here. I'll be hiding this one. I could also move from one place to another. I'll be making it over here where it was actually. I would change the background color. I would make it a nice and dark color. You can make it any of the color. I want to make it a pink and a red color. So what I would do is I would just do control backspace. Sorry, control C. I would do alt backspace. Now you can see I didn't make a new layer. I'll do undo it. I'll make a new layer, and then you could color it from all backspace. You can again see that the buildings has height. What we would do is we would just drag it there, and now you can see your buildings are over there. So this is what the polygonal lasso tool does. It just selects the area and it just makes a straight line. Now we're gonna show you the magnetic lasso tool, which is great for tracing around objects. So it is located right here, the same where the magnetic and lasso tool was. It is located same here, and I have selected it. I want to select these oranges and I have zoomed in. So it's really perfect tool to select. We'll click on an edge and you can see that can select this image very easily, and you can have a look at them that it's really nice tool to select an object. Actually, you just have to click on the edge and just pull the cursor or just drag the cursor, and when you release it you press enter and you can see you have a selection. Okay, so now we have our fake one.